Let's talk about our hearing bag template. So this is a checklist that you can add to or change or delete things from. That will be a checklist for you whenever you're packing up for a hearing or for a meeting. There may be certain things you like to take, and I don't like to rethink about all that every time. So I created a list I can just check off. One thing that we have on the list is a supply pouch. You need supplies whenever you're doing legal work. So sticky tabs, whiteout, paper clips, staple removers, stapler, pens, highlighters, all of that will be in your supply pouch, whatever supplies you prefer. And you can have that supply pouch built and ready, and we just built one for every lawyer and every paralegal in the firm with their name on it. And then if you lose yours, you can mooch someone else's. Sometimes I leave them in my briefcases, and then I can't find them. I have to go mooch someone else's. But it's nice because you can just grab it, and you don't have to build all that every time. And then I like to have water bottles. And when we go to hearings or trials, sometimes we're there a long time, and I bring a water bottle for everyone in our group so that we're definitely at least going to have a sip of water. And some courts do supply water on the tables in like carafes, but I don't always know when that was last filled up. So I would rather have my own water bottle. I also always like to have the family code and the rules of civil procedure with me. And now a lot of people have those on their phone or their iPad, and that's great. It's obviously a thinner way to carry it. You're not carrying a big bulky book. But if you're not comfortable looking it up on your phone, then bring the book, because you want to be comfortable in the way you're looking up the rules or whatever you're arguing about so you can find it quickly. So it's good to have the family code, because sometimes lawyers say things in hearings that aren't exactly right. And it's nice to be able to show the judge that by saying, wait a minute, that's not what the family code says, Judge. I also like to pack a yellow pad for myself and for my client. And the reason I bring one for my client is they whisper. And when you're in a hearing, that is distracting. So I tell the client, look, I do want the client's feedback. They know their case better than anyone, and they know maybe the best follow-up question to the question I just asked once they hear the answer. So I do want their feedback, and I want them to be able to write me a note. But if they whisper, as you know, it's hard to respond to whatever's happening in the courtroom. So I explain that to them, and that I don't want them to whisper. I do want them to write on the notepad. And then I also tell them that if I ignore the note, it is for a reason. So because sometimes they write the note and then they're just vigorously pointing to the note because they think I'm ignoring the note, which I am, but I tell them in advance I'm ignoring it on purpose for a strategic reason that we will explain more fully on a break. So that's my tips for your notebook and for your client. I also like to pack, and I recommend to you, the Texas Family Law Section Toolkit. When you join the Texas Family Law Section, which I recommend that you join, one of the benefits of membership is this toolkit, and it is a little notebook, and it has a quick reference to all the objections, and it has a quick reference to your predicates and many other things, and it's very handy to have in the courtroom. I use it all the time. I bring it to every hearing, and I bring it to depositions. So I think you will be very glad you're a member of the Texas Family Law Section. I also like to have a reminder on my list of just, obviously, I want the notebook, I want my red rope that has all my exhibits, whatever part of the file you intend to bring, and I like to have a notebook for every person attending. So for example, if a paralegal's assisting me or another lawyer, or I'm assisting another lawyer, I like for each of us to have our own notebook so we're not wrestling over the notebook. And it helps, I write out my questions in advance for all the witnesses, and I have that in the notebook. It's helpful for the other person to be able to follow along because they will see where I plan to put exhibits into evidence. Now, you have to be flexible. You don't always follow your list or your plan because you have to react to what's happening in the courtroom, and that's important to do. So you have to tell the person assisting you, we may not follow this roadmap, but at least we have one. So that is our list, our template for getting your hearing bag packed up for you.